The strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon, loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I till the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering my name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright guys, so okay, first of all, yes, I know I'm late. I had workmen around the house, and to be honest, I was waiting for them to get the hell out. As you guys, some of you guys know, I am renovating my house at the moment. We're doing the kitchen, and there was just way too much noise with the construction going on, so we couldn't have gone through and done the show anyway. So yeah, we basically had to wait until they were finished for the day. So, you know, if you had got everything done yesterday when you were supposed to, but anyway. Alright guys, so apart from that, yeah, that's the reason why I'm late. I apologise, something out of my control, and we have finished the renos for a little bit now. So yeah, it's just me putting on door hinges and putting in cabinets and stuff like that, so there should be no more workmen or anything required just yet. Alright, apart from that guys, what are we going to talk about today? So, we're going to talk about the UK having an absolute frigging meltdown over Trump. Like, this is absolutely insane. Like, people are literally drawing penises in their lawn right now. This is the state of the UK. So we're going to talk about the absolute meltdown from the UK. We're going to talk about Julian Assange because there has been a huge and I also want to give props to I think it was Excel? Yeah, it was Sentinel. Yep. Who no, was it Sentinel? No, Centura, who went through and actually found this information, because I actually missed this. Although, yeah, I've been sort of preoccupied a little bit, so who knows. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, so obviously big shout out to him for finding that information. And apart from that, obviously, guys, we're going to talk about Lauren Southern leaving YouTube, which is both happy and sad. We're going to talk about Snapchat having no age filter. We'll get to that. And then basically, Seth Mullins saying Stacey Abrams would have won if America wasn't racist. CNN should consider leaving Georgia over abortion laws. ABC host, I know Jesus would be attending a pride parade. Okay, Key Miller probe witness arrested on child porn, and we're already demonetized. Former Democrat congressional Sarah Haha says she hates white people and America. I think those are close together, not different people. And the last story for the day is NBA might ban the toner over racial tensions. Overtone, sorry. But we'll get to all that in a sec. So, alright. Is everybody ready for this shit show? Let's jump into it. Alright, obviously, guys, as usual, interacting with chat along the way. So you have any comments, any questions, anything at all, feel free to throw them up. Now, apart from that, let's just kick this off with a bang. Just waiting for it to start recording, and we're live. Alright, so guys, some of you may know that Trump is over in the UK at the moment. In case you've missed the liberal hysteria meltdown that has happened on Twitter, Trump is over in the UK at the moment. But yeah, Trump faces giant USS John McCain and Obama approval ratings projected onto London landmarks during state visit. This is what we mean by the meltdown, but let's jump into it. Donald Trump has been faced with giant projections of the USS John McCain and Obama approval ratings on London landmarks during his state visit, which is weird because I think at the moment Obama actually had less approval than Trump. So I don't know why they're touting those, and I'd like to know which actual stats they're using, because I imagine they're probably the best that Obama ever had. But anyway. The anti-Brexit campaign group led by Doxxes tweeted the US president and an image of the USS John McCain cap projected onto Madame Tussauds in the Capitol. So, led by Doxxes, tweet the president, just so you know, you're wildly unpopular here in Britain. Okay, so they're claiming that Obama had a 72... Oh, that's UK approval. Right, okay. Just so you know, you're widely unpopular here in Britain. And that's all that article says. Now, the interesting thing here is if we bring up this here, you'll actually see they talk about the approval ratings, which is what I wanted to know about. The UK approval ratings for Obama was 72%. The UK approval ratings was 21%. Now, this is led by Doxxes, right? This is nowhere near an official campaign, right? This is nowhere near an official, like, statistics, polls, or anything like that. This is led by Doxxes. This chances are these ratings, I'm going to guess, are probably some Twitter poll or something like that, right? I'll be very surprised if they were real. Look, they could be. I'm going to say they could be just in case I'm wrong. But to me, these seems like it's, you know, led by Donkey. I would say that these are... So people don't like you. Do they say where these... Yeah, they don't really say where the poll's coming from, do they? But anyway, regardless, the fact is that this is a foreign country's approval ratings of the US Prime Minister. Let me play devil's advocate. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if Trump's approval ratings in the UK are 21%? Well, yeah, okay, they're an ally. Great, terrific. Whoop-de-doo. But at the end of the day, he's not the UK Prime Minister. He's the American Prime Minister. And that's the thing. At the moment, I'm pretty sure Trump's approval ratings are actually higher than Obama's. It's funny how they don't go projecting those on the side of the Tower of London, isn't it? But look, at the end of the day, yeah, who cares what the Tower of London and the approval ratings for Trump are in the UK? The Australian Prime Minister, for example, right? If he had a shit approval ratings over in the UK or in America, who cares? It's what matters. It's the country that elects him. Not this, and this is the whole New World Order, globalist bullshit mentality thinking. That somehow, because you're a US Prime Minister, you've got to be loved by everybody all over the world. No, you don't. To be honest, if Trump's doing a good job, he's going to be hated across the world. At the end of the day, if Trump is doing a really, really good job, he would have a approval rating of 21% in a foreign country. Because guess what? He's there to serve his country. Not the UK, not Australia, not anywhere else. And I'd like to know where he got this 21% from. Because I imagine it's probably something like a Twitter poll. They're trying to grandstand for the left, I think. Hey, how are you, Eric? Not bad, man. Look, at the end of the day, it's visual signaling. It's a way, like, led by Doxxes, happens to have his name on the bottom of this thing, right? You don't tell me... He's got a... Let me guess. He's got a huge Twitter post over this. You know, all of a sudden he has a lot more Twitter followers. You know? Like, at the end of the day, these people, sure, they believe their cause. I'm not saying they don't. But at the end of the day, the fact is that they are doing this part of a virtual signal. Look at me! I can try and piss off Trump. Do you really think Trump gives two shits about this? Do you really think Trump sits there and goes, oh no, I have 21% approval ratings, supposedly, well, what we're assuming is from a Twitter poll, in the UK. Oh no, I must do better. Let me sacrifice some of my own country so that I can go through and get better approval in the UK. Who cares? Who really gives two shits? But anyway. Talking about people that have just completely lost it. Trump faces a giant penis mode of field near the airport where he lands for the UK state visit in climate change protest. I don't think it's in climate change protest. I think it's just some guy who wanted to go through and put a great big penis in his lawn because he hates Trump. I tell you, if I become a prime minister or a president and I can trigger the left this much, I know I'm doing a good job. This idiot has literally gone through and mowed a giant penis into his lawn. How bonkers do you have to be to do that? I'm just putting that out there. Climate change is real, teenager points out in the message for the US president. I don't see anything about the climate change part. Oh, okay. Change is real. Climate change is real. Is that the same lawn though, or a different one? A teenager has mowed an anti-Trump message complete with a giant penis into the grass of the family home head of the US president's UK state visit. Olive Narrow, I'm mispronouncing, and good, you just doxed a kid. Well done, congratulations. Spent his weekend mowing the words "Oli Trump" into his lawn near Hartfield Heath in Essex. The 18-year-old used the mower to itch a giant polar bear penis and the word "climate change is real" into the grass, according to Bishop Stanford Independent. The A-level student hopes that the US president will spot his creation as Air Force One approaches Strategic Airport, which is near Hartfield Heath, on Monday morning. Donald Trump and his denial of climate change are not welcome, and I want to be fully aware of what he flies into Essex on Monday, he said. Trump isn't saying that climate change isn't real, you twat. He is saying that he doesn't believe it's man-made. The teenager is the founder of Born Eco, a website. Oh my god, a friggin' far leftist. Who would have thought? A website which connects shoppers with eco-friendly traders. Let me guess, they're dearer. Mr. Trump's congressional state visit will unfold over 3 days. He's expected to meet the Queen and senior royal Buckingham Palace before the dignitaries gather for a state dinner on Monday evening. Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the opposition, is boycotting the event, while Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, has compared Mr. Trump to a fascist of the 20th century. Mind you, Sadiq Khan got trolled on Twitter by the US president, and not only that, but Sadiq Khan has a huge problem with London and crime. So maybe he could use a little bit more policing in his seemingly lack of police state. Now look, at the end of the day, obviously Sadiq Khan having knife crimes, murders, robberies and all that seemingly are higher than New York City, obviously is an embarrassment. And I'm glad that he is more worried about what Trump is up to rather than going through and fixing his own city. But anyway. Last week, the White House instructed a major US government department to cease prediction of the long-term effects of climate change crisis, in which move which infuriated environmental campaigners and their backers. But anyway. So yeah. That's seemingly all for that article too. Yeah, no worries. Alright, welcome to the UK Arms. Trump London pub welcomes the UK president. The US president during the UK visit. So obviously not everybody is upset over this. Obviously some people are completely fine with Trump visiting the UK. But never mind, I suppose. My narrative. Tucked away in the quiet corner of West London, thousands of miles away from Washington, a pub has been renamed to the Trump Arms in honour of the state visit by the President of the United States. This will be the second time the landlord of the Irish pub, the 53-year-old Dimmy Smith, is making the gesture. The first time it was in July 2018. Pictures show the newly dubbed the Trump Arms, packed with patrons offering alternative view of the president's visit after the Londons offered a very different greeting. You mean some Londoners. The very vocal minority of Londoners. And of course it's London. Like, it's got more immigrants than you can possibly put a stick at. I wonder why they don't like Trump. A very different greeting. A giant blimp dubbed the Trump baby, which depicts the president as a pubescent infant, displayed over Parliament. Donald Trump himself, by the way, it's not that big actually. It looks bigger in the picture, but it's really quite small. Donald Trump himself told the Sun newspaper, though, he thought the pub's renaming was wonderful. It's actually quite funny because Trump hears about the pub, but I wonder if he heard about the kid mowing the lawn. I love those people, Trump told the newspaper. Those are my people. That quote is plastered along the walls of the Trump's Arms, as well as numerous American flags, pictures of Trump and the Republic Oval Office, where attendees can enjoy a drink while seated across from the image of Trump displayed on the wall. Now, we did it last year when Trump visited the UK, Smith told ABC News. We've done it again because now he's coming here on Monday. We must mark the great relationship between the British, the Irish, and the American people. Oh yeah, it is up there. That's cool. Smith and the Americans are more. Smith said Americans are more than welcome, and he expects plenty of people across the pond to come to the pub when Trump arrives. The president's arrival last year was met with a massive protest on the street of London. Still, Trump does have a significant support across the Atlantic, and Smith believes that the way his last trip was represented was unfair. Oh, yeah, okay. So renaming the pub is a show of respect for the office of the president, he said, and this celebrates the transatlantic bound that, for Smith, harkens back to the Second World War. Which is a true fact, too. They had no quarrels about helping this country or the country next door, he said. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys, I just got an update. B-52 bomber, nuclear bomber, has just crashed. And said about the show, respect the Americans, the Irish, and the British are great friends. And now we're family. More protests are planned in London to mark Trump's arrival, and although he doesn't drink alcohol, Trump will surely feel welcome, at least in one corner of the capital. Probably most people don't give a shit, to be honest. I wish someone with a sniper rifle would take out that baby balloon. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, man, I tend to think that, look, at the end of the day, let them have their protest, let them have their balloon. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't have a problem with people protesting. I really don't. People want to protest, go for it, knock yourselves out. Yeah. But yeah, I obviously I don't like it when it turns into beating people and stuff like that, but I think they should be able to protest. If you don't like Trump, go and protest by all means. Alright? Go and have your little song and dance. It's not going to change anything. Guess what? He's still the American president. He's still more popular than Obama, as far as I know. And at the end of the day, he's still going to be president tomorrow. So, 2 scoops, 2 genders, 2 terms. That's all I got to say to that. Alright, President Trump, Queen Elizabeth reaffirming close ties between the US and the UK, commemorated the D-Day invasion at a banquet. So, President Trump capped off the day of his London visit Monday by dining with the Queen, Elizabeth and other members of the royal family in a lavish state banquet at Buckingham Palace, ending in a turmoil and busy day that saw the President taking the sights of the British capital while levelling insults at London Mayor Sadiq Khan. Both Trump and the Queen offered formal toasts ahead of the dinner. The visits by the American presidents are always reminding us of the close relationship between the UK and the US, Queen Elizabeth said in her toast, before referencing the Allied mission on D-Day during World War II. We owe an immense debt to the joint British and American Allied forces that landed in Normandy on June 6, 1944, the Queen said. The anniversary of the D-Day reminds us all of our country and our shared together. Trump is set to travel to Normandy later this week to commence commemorations 75 years after the Allied invasion. Yeah, 75 years, yep. In his toast, Trump reaffirms the close ties between London and Washington, noting that countries' joint efforts in defending Nazi Germany during World War II. The bond between our nation was sealed in the greatest crusade, Trump said. We reaffirm our common values that will continue well into the future. Fashion note, Melania Trump meets the Queen in iconic heavy pure hat. Okay. Good on her, I suppose. The Queen gives Trump and Melania gifts during her visit to the UK. Queen Elizabeth II gave President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump welcome gifts on Monday on behalf of the royal monarch during the family's first state trip to the United Kingdom. And continuing the tradition of the providing gifts for foreign dignitaries, the Queen gave Trump an Ambridge first edition, The Second World War by Winston Churchill. The book, printed in 1959, is adorned with the gold-toned crucium cover, silk papers, and featured hand-sewn red and white blue headbands. Reported CNN, Churchill wrote the book based on his accounts and diaries of World War II. Trump has been a long-time admirer of the late British Prime Minister. While meeting the royal family in July 2018, he notably was photographed sitting in Churchill's chair in Chequers, the Prime Minister's office country home. In addition to the book, Queen also gifted Donald Trump a set of Dunfold pens adorned with Her Majesty's obsidian design. The set comprised a fountain pen and a rollback pen and a ballpoint pen. Melania was also given a specially commiseration silver box with handcrafted engraved lid, and the box was designed with rose, thistle and Stockholm image, symbolic of England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Moreover, the 3 symbols can be seen on the ceiling pattern of the music room of Buckingham Palace. President Trump lays wreaths, might be mispronouncing, at a tomb of the unknown warrior in Westminster Abbey. President Donald Trump laid a wreath at the prayer and a prayer over the enduring remains of an unknown combatant of the Great War of 1914 to 1918 on Monday morning during the visit of the Westminster Abbey on his state visit to the United Kingdom. The visit to the Abbey, an historic place of the burial of conservations of English and British kings and queens for nearly 1,000 years, was hosted by British Royal Prince Andrew and the chapter officers of the Abbey itself. Which is kind of nice, I suppose, yeah. BBC angers viewers with baby Trump balloon in studio, which, aren't they a government-sponsored network? Just putting that out there. Who would have thought the BBC could do anything to draw the ire of watchers? This is the BBC, for God's sake, not TMC, CNN, or the National Enquirer. Extremely poor decision by BBC, tweeted Tim Monarch, a British activist and columnist. The BBC's stunt involved the network presenter Victoria Dubshaw hanging out with a baby version of an inflatable puffy orange President Trump blimp in the studio. It was complete with nipples, chest hair, and open mouth, and a big yellow mane. The sting is that this all went down as Trump arrived in London Monday morning. Can you imagine the poor chap who had to blow this thing up? Or maybe she did. Maybe she's full of hot air. If it's not Trump's... It's not as if Trump didn't recently bash the late Senator John McCain on foreign soil, or although the president's aide protect Trump from triggering sights of ships named for one of his dead political enemies. The biggest 20-foot version of the blimp is a protest of Trump's first official state visit to the UK. London Mayor Sadiq Khan authorised the giant balloon to fly. There she is there with the blimp. Morgan predicted that Trump would amuse the Queen more than most. I think the Queen rather likes President Trump. Bet he makes her laugh more than the most of the dreary politicians she has to meet. Woof. So... yeah, it's pretty cringe. So, businessman Adam Campbell said the BBC's use of the ugly blimp shows the network's political bias. Well, we all knew they were biased. There was no need to bring that into the studio and give the perpetrators publicity during so. He wrote, the BBC once were a symbol of respect throughout the world. Now they're just a biased organisation. Sick. I no longer believe or entrust. How much further can it sink? Pathetic. Timberland technology specialist Carl Babby was beyond outraged. Quite ghastly of the BBC, he wrote. Brexit Party member Jordan Sculpture was also displeased. I have to say I agree. I'm not reactionary, but I instantly grimaced when I saw it on telly. He wrote, sad that our media have sunk this low. Trump has only been in the UK for a matter of hours. He's already gorged CNN, calling it fake news and all negative, which is fairly true. Mostly negative. It's hard to imagine him not sinking a pen, so to speak, into the blimp. The days we're on. Look, at the end of the day, I think that especially a state-funded television station should not be politically biased. Look, at the end of the day, this is the BBC. They receive government funding to operate. And here they are, literally putting up a baby balloon of Trump, who, like we've already said before, has what? Yeah. Just asking the question, what language do you guys think the UK would be speaking right now if it hadn't been for the US? You know, I don't want to get this whole argument of, you know, the US came and saved your ass in World War II, so you owe them a sort of thing. But at the end of the day, having a little bit of respect for a foreign leader whose country literally saved your ass from speaking German, just going to say, maybe the UK should be a little bit more respectful of foreign dignities, especially networks of government-funded organisations. But you know, if this went the other way, the left would lose their shit, right? The left would be calling it out. If Sadiq Khan was over in the US, say for example, or not Sadiq Khan, because that's not really comparative. Well, I suppose it's not really comparative because he's only a London mayor, but we'll use it as an example anyway. You imagine German and Japanese, exactly, Raymond. That's what they'd be speaking. You'd be Haskanagan, and that's my bad German impersonation there. But at the end of the day, I was going to say, the fact is, like, so imagine if Sadiq Khan went to the US and NPR or whatever it may be went through and literally put up a baby balloon of Sadiq Khan with like a knife or something like that in the background or whatever, or just something to mock Sadiq Khan and the high amounts of terror attacks and just criminal activities that are going on over in London right now. Do you imagine how much the mainstream media would be losing their shit right now? CNN would be calling it wildly inappropriate. The BBC would be sitting there going up on their soapbox going about, how dare you attack our London mayor? Mind you, they would do they've done the exact same thing to Trump. How dare you attack the London mayor? Wait a minute, hold my beer. Let us go through and bring in a baby Trump balloon. I don't know. To be honest, Trip, I reckon it's best to let them do this sort of stuff, because all this is going to do is hurt the BBC. People are going to look at this and go, literally, it's the BBC for God's sake, not TMZ or CNN or the National Enquirer. Do you know how low you have to have sunk before people start lumping you in with TMZ, which is a widely known tabloid sort of show, or CNN, which is known as fake news? All this does is this proves that the BBC is basically the same as CNN. And that's not one thing that you want. That's not a comparing that you want at all. Because that just shows you how bad it is. So I'd say, go through. Put up your balloons. Do your penises in your lawns. I can't believe I'm saying this, but by all means do it. The left, lose your shit. I want the left melting down in the streets. I want them sitting there going, no! Oof, that's, Trump, Trip, oof, man. I wasn't going to go there, but okay, yeah, all that would probably work. Oh, shit. A little spicy there, Trip. But like I say, just having the left melt down is great for the Republicans. This stunt with the BBC, you know what this is? This is 2020 Trump's re-election campaign. Vote for me because these guys are batshit crazy. Vote for me, who's helped reduce taxes, reduce unemployment, bringing back jobs to America, helping the American economy, or you can vote for the left, who literally will put up baby balloons of me in their studios, who will fly baby balloons over Buckingham Palace, or who will stand in the streets screaming at the sun or the stars or the moon or whatever they were screaming at, screaming no. Like, can anybody remember when they tried to... Not only was it a huge failure because there was only a few people that did it, but at the end of the day, the ones that did it looked freaking crazy. Who would go out at 10 o'clock at night or whatever it was and scream at the moon? Unless you're a werewolf. But like I said, but this is how rabid, get it? Rabbit, werewolf. This is how rabid the left are right now. They've lost their shit. And this is Trump's 2020 election campaign. Vote for me because otherwise this is your other option. Vote for me because you sure as shit don't want these crazy ass people to get into power. That's going to be his 2020 campaign. Congratulations. But anyway. But yeah, state banquet. Queen honours the UK-US alliance. Trump celebrated shared values of freedom and sovereignty. So that's what I say. Let them protest. I don't have a problem with the left doing this shit. Because all it does is it makes it look stupid. Makes them look idiotic. And at the end of the day, go for it. Knock yourselves out. Show the world how stupid you really, really are. And we'll see who wins in 2020. Right now. And, yeah. But anyway. But guys, let me know what you think regarding this in the comment section below. All I'm sitting here seeing this is just left meltdown over this. This is just leftist snowflakes who are just losing their stuff or losing their shit because Trump's visiting. Good on you, Trump. You can literally trigger the UK as much as the US when it comes to the left. You are a lord among memes, literally. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright, so we're going to talk about Julian. Alright. So we're going to talk about Julian Assange here, because there has been a bit of an update in regards to what's happening to him. So Julian Assange won't face charges over role in devastating CIA leak. The decision surprised national security experts and some former officials, given prosecutors' recent decision to go after the WikiLeaks founder on an espionage act. Justice Department has decided not to charge Julian for his role in exposing some of the CIA's most secret spy tools, according to a US official and two others familiar with the case. This is big news, and I'm going to say I'm not surprised they aren't going after him for this. This is something that Obama thought about doing and backed off as well. And I imagine the Justice Department has turned around and said, shit, you know, Obama tried to do this or thought about doing this. He backed it off as well. Look, at the end of the day, this is bad because you're basically going to be locking up a journalist for talking about classified information that was given to him from sources. This is basically him then setting a pretense to go after every journalist or media publication, including yours truly, who has ever talked about WikiLeaks. Now, obviously, this is not Assange being completely off the hook. He still has to face the computer hacking crime, I presume. But we'll jump into it. So it's more surprising the national security experts and some officials given prosecutors' recent decision. Yep. Okay, so the WikiLeaks founder is more controversial espionage charges that some legal experts say would not hold up in court. So like I say, I think they've gone through and assessed their options and thought, yeah, this is not going to work. This is not going to hold up. The decision also means that Assange will not face punishment for publishing one of the CIA's most potential arsenals of digital codes used to hack devices dubbed Vault 7. The leak, one of the most devastating in CIA history, not only essentially rendered those tools useless for the CIA, it gave foreign spies and rogue hackers access to them. That is completely false. Vault 7 was already leaked by that stage, and you could actually go on and... Sorry, freaking notifications keep coming up. You could actually go through and download them off the internet long before, like, even WikiLeaks themselves, they talked about them. They talked about what they did, but they didn't provide a link to those tools. So that itself is complete BS, Politico. You got that wrong. Not only essentially rendered those tools useless. Prosecutors were stymied by several factors. First, the government is facing a ticking clock in its effort to extradite Assange to the United States from the United Kingdom, where he's been held. Extradition laws require the US to bring any additional charges against Assange within 60 days of the first indictment, which prosecutors filed in March, accusing Assange of helping former Army intelligence Chelsea Manning into hacking the military computers. Second, prosecutors were worried about the sensitivity of Vault 7 materials, according to an official familiar with the deliberations over whether to charge Assange. Breaching such classified subject in court risks exposing even more CIA secrets, legal experts say. The CIA has never officially confirmed the authenticity of the leaked documents, even though the analysts widely believe them to be authentic. And we know they are because they're available on the internet on hacking websites. Not linked by WikiLeaks, mind you. There are no questions that the leak case that can't be prosecuted against the leaker or the leaky because of the information is so sensitive for that. For your proof at trial, you would have to confirm its authenticity, said Mary McCord, who was acting Assistant Attorney General for National Security at the Justice Department until 2017. So, ironically, often that it's higher the classification of the leaked material, the harder it is to prosecute. So instead, the Justice Department will go after Assange on one count of allegedly assisting Manning and 17 account Espionage Act indictment. There are no plans to bring any additional indictments prior to his extradition. So, while the Manning leaked indictment was an expected move, the Espionage Act charges startled the legal community as potential preceding settling action. Traditionally, the law has been used to punish government officials who reveal classified information, not the journalists and foreign nationals who publish the information. They're actually protected according to the First Amendment. Press freedom activists immediately warn that the criminalizing everyday journalist behavior, such as to size sensitive information from political sources, federal officers insist they have a strong case arguing that Assange is not a journalist, really, because he seems like one to me, and intentionally publish the name of confident sources in war zones over the objection of national officials. But then you'd have to prove that people died, which you can't, because you've already been asked that in court, and you said no. Right? They were asked in court, I think, after Chelsea Manning, to prove that anybody died because of these leaks, and they said they could not prove it. This is a comfort level with the National Security Establishment, where the charges end up, the National Security Office told Politico. Still, just several months ago, numerous experts felt confident that prosecutors would also hit Assange with over Vault 7, predominantly national security journalists predicted in February that DOJ would very clearly go after Assange for Vault 7 disclosure. Right. So Julian Assange scores legal victory as Swedish court denies detention requests. Julian Assange won a major legal victory on Monday when a Swedish court denied a request to detain the WikiLeaks founder over sexual assault investigations dating back to 2010. So the ruling by the Ethe District Court is a setback for the prosecutors who were hoping to issue the European arrest warrant for Assange and his arrest to his extradition from the United Kingdom to Sweden. The court agreed with prosecutors that Assange could possibly pose a flight risk, but said detention would not be predominant. The Swedish rape investigation was the reason Assange spent most of the several years in self-imprisoned, exiled in the London's embassy. Completely factually inaccurate. Yeah, you can't. No. Raymond, I totally agree. He was not in there, in the embassy, because of the rape allegations. Okay? That's a complete load of crap. Because the rape allegations, he was actually working with Swedish authorities in giving them statements regarding that. If he was running away from the rape allegations, him and his legal team would not be facilitating or answering questions or giving video testimony or whatever it may be regarding this Swedish case. Okay? Julian Assange and his legal team were working with the Swedish authorities in answering any questions they had regarding that. The reason why he was in the Ecuadorian embassy was because at the end of the day, he was worried that this Swedish rape case, which from what I understand is the crux is a girl got a STD and she blames Julian for it. That's supposedly the crux. If you actually go through and actually have a look at the real Swedish rape case and what because that's the name the media is giving it. What it was this girl hooked up with Julian Assange. She's hooked up with a couple of other guys later. And then she got an STD. And she is blaming Julian Assange for the STD. That's not a rape case. Okay? According to the testimony and everything like that, the sexual encounter with him and her was totally and utterly consensual. So I don't know where they're getting this whole rape case thing from. Because apparently it's more about a girl getting an STD and trying to blame Julian for it. Mind you, she wasn't exactly picky about who she slept with. I don't know if that says a lot about her or Julian, but regardless. But at the end of the day, she had a few boyfriends after that. She got an STD somewhere between point A and point B. And she is naturally blaming Julian Assange. But anyway. The WikiLeaks founder walked into the building in June 2012, shortly after losing a long extradition battle to the UK Supreme Court. He remained... No, he thought that the UK was going to hand him over to the US. Oh, by the way, have you heard the US is currently trying to extradite Julian Assange? I wonder why he might have tried to run and hide in the Ecuadorian embassy. Like, I wonder why. Assange's lawyer, Pierre Samuel, said Monday that his client declined the accusations, also agreed that detention would be disproportionate. He added that Assange has always wanted to cooperate with the investigation, and he has. He's answered questions. He's even tried to give them video testimony. He's encouraged them to come to the Ecuadorian embassy so they can question him. It's funny because Sweden doesn't seem to want to be too sorted out regarding this. Sweden could have easily gone to the Ecuadorian London's embassy, sat down with Assange and interviewed him and had this whole incident removed and over and done with by now. But for some reason, Sweden doesn't seem to want to. Wonder why. Said that the rape allegations are one of 4 sexual assault accusations that Assange is facing after his visit to Sweden in August 2010. The case never moved much beyond the investigation stage, and Assange has not been charged with any crimes in the country. Now, anyway. In August 2015, the statute of limitations on 3 of the 4 allegations lapsed under Swedish law. Any charges relating to the 4th allegation of rape must be made by August 2020. The probe into the alleged rape was suspended in 2017 as a result of Assange's continued residence in the embassy. What? You couldn't go to the embassy and ask him questions? They invited you. Why couldn't you go and ask questions? On Monday, the judge said that in order to finish the investigation, prosecutors could issue a European investigation order which would make it impossible for them to interview Assange, and conclude their inquiry. The prosecutor said the investigation will continue, but didn't give any details about the next steps, because there's not a lot. But this rape allegation is so bogus, it really, really is. But anyway. Since his arrest in April, Assange has been sentenced to nearly a year in the UK prison over bail violations, stemming from whether he's first entered the Ecuadorian embassy. He's also facing a US extradition request. I wonder why he went to the Ecuadorian embassy. He's facing a UN extradition request, right? But up here, they claim it was because of the Swedish rape case. I wonder. CNN fake news? Assange was indicted on the United States on 1 count of conspiracy to commit treason. He was then charged with 17 counts under the Espionage Act for his role in receiving published national defense information in concert with former Army intelligence analyst Chandler Manning. The Swedish court decision means the US will not have to compete with Sweden over the extradition request. It is given priority. But then we've seen this. Won't roll over this. So like I said, they are talking about the CIA hack. We don't know if that's all the 17 charges. To me, that seems like they're just not going to prosecute him over the Vault 7 stuff. So maybe he's still going to get charged with the other charges. Maybe they're still going to go after him for that. I would have to wait to see. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a huge mistake. If they go after Julian Assange because he's a publisher or because he's a journalist, that is a very big mistake. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright. Ugh. This is bad. Alright guys, so I want to go through and give a big shout out to Sentinel, who actually brought all this information up, because he's done a lot of the legwork on this for me. So big shout out to the guys in Discord. Also Centaura, who also went and through and talked about the Julian stuff. Big shout out regarding those guys in Discord. But yeah, we found the guy behind the viral drunk Pelosi video. The video that racked up millions of views and sparked a nation conversation was uploaded by a sports blogger from the Bronx. This is literally the Daily Beast doxing somebody because they didn't like his video. But anyway. On May 22nd, a Donald Trump superfan and occasional sports blogger from the Bronx named Someone posted a video clip of Nancy Pelosi on his personal Facebook page. The clip shows Pelosi at her most extendable, stammering, and during a press conference, she voices frustration over a Board of Infrastructure meeting with President Trump. Brooks' commentary on the video was succinct. Is Pelosi drunk? 13 minutes later, a Facebook official told the Daily Beast someone posted a very different Pelosi video to the Facebook page called Pelosi's Politics Watchdog, one of the series of hypocritical news operations Brooks runs with help, he claims. The clip had been altered to slow Pelosi down without lowering the pitch of her voice. The effect was to make it so that the Speaker of the House's words slurred and was drunken while criticizing Donald Trump. 15 minutes after that, someone doctored the video appeared on a second Facebook page Brooks manages, Old News 24/7. This clip was identical to the Politics Watchdog video on every way, except that it didn't carry the Politics Watchdog branding that it was superimposed on the earlier video. Whoever posted it had access to the director's cut on both pages. The clip was unaccompanied by the same expert news posy, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on President Trump walking out infrastructure meeting. It was very, very, very strange. The video was an instant social media smash, surging through the internet's well-worried lies of credibility and venom. It shared more than 60,000 times on Facebook and accumulated 4 million page views from links. drunk as a skunk. Most actors turned alt-right. Turned alt-right? What? Alt-right Commandant James Wood, who tweeted off the video, scored 17,000 retweets and 55,000 likes. What's wrong with Nancy Pelosi? Wrote Julie Giuliani, the president's personal lawyer, in a tweet linked to the All News 24/7 post. Now, what I find... Okay, so before we go through and talk about this, they're trying to muddy the waters. There was actually 2 videos that went through and that they were talking about. The first video was her at C-SPAN, sorry. And the second video was her during a press conference. So... let me see, and I'll show you guys the difference. Okay. So... this is the video that they keep claiming that Trump shared. Right?
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has a lot on her plate. Leading the House of Representatives, quelling factions in her own party, going head-to-head with President Trump. She's a favorite target of Republicans, and also the alt-right. Recent videos circulating online have been manipulated to make the Congresswoman's words sound sluggish and slurred. This video, posted by the Politics Watchdog Facebook page, has more than 28,000 shares and 1.2 million views. It shows Pelosi speaking at the Center for American Progress Ideas Conference on May 22nd. But when compared to the Washington Post's verified feed of the same event, it is clear the Facebook video is playing at 75% of the original speed.
We want to give this president the opportunity to do something historic for our country. We want to give this president the opportunity to do something historic for our country.
Adjusting the speed...
Now, at the end of the day, right, that's the video they keep claiming that Trump tweeted. But it's not. Trump tweeted this video.
We had a little, took a little longer on the floor than I had anticipated, but the floor rules. As we go into Memorial...
That's the video that Trump tweeted. Not this one. So when they turn around and say, this is the video that Trump tweeted. No, it's not. Trump tweeted this video. Okay? I don't know what Rudy Giuliani tweeted or anything like that. Rudy, whatever. But at the end of the day, this is the video that Trump tweeted. But regardless. I think they're trying to take him down however they can because he's the trusts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true, Eric. Can we just call the far left Gulliver Abels? Those kids just ruin all the good jokes. Oof. But yeah, so what the Daily Beast was, they went through and they doxed this guy. Right, this is basically just them literally going through, putting his name out there, you know, saying what he does, where he works, you know, putting his real name, mind you, all that sort of stuff, you know, all that sort of goodness that, you know, that the left love to do, you know, because the left never doxes anybody, right? Daily Beast writer, who, by the way, doxed the kid, is also a convicted felon. Ouch. Banned from the internet, doxed man who shared Pelosi meme. So the Daily Beast writer, I'm not going to say his name, was previously banned from the internet after being implicated in numerous crimes, including espionage against the United States. He's doxed the man who shared the viral house video of Nancy Pelosi, in which her vocal pitch was lowered and the video was presumably slowed to make her seem even less articulate than usual. The man who big league politics will not name out of respect for his privacy is a manual labourer and African-American who runs a series of Facebook pages and website promoting President Donald Trump and conservative policies. His name identically was not public information prior to something or other, a former black hat hacker who was banned from using the internet from the 1990s until early 2000s revealed in his Daily Beast article. So, let me get this straight. Someone who was banned from the internet from convicted felon is literally going through and doxing someone. Who would have thought? Imagine my shock. They're going to be sued big time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now look, at the end of the day, I don't like big league politics going through and doxing this guy. I know his name's out there. I know that. But at the end of the day, this is... Look, you can turn around and all this does is this gives the left the same argument, turn around and say, yeah, but big league politics also put his name in an article. Yeah, okay, fine. He is a writer. Yes, true, he is in the public eye. You know, his name is public information. We get that. But I still don't think you need to put his name out there. But you can talk about his past crimes, but I don't like the fact that they used his name. And I wouldn't mention his name just for obviously having the same respect for, you know, both people, I suppose. But yeah, like I say, yeah. Who would have thought? He was found guilty and in prison for 5 years and for his crimes, and then was banned from the internet until 2004. So, he's now used his internet privilege to dox a private individual. One must wonder if his former probation officer is scratching his head and contemplating whether he made the correct decision. Yeah, the problem with that though, Raymond, is if you start going through and putting in laws to stop people from being doxed, which I do support. I don't think doxing is right, by the way. But if you go through and you put through laws regarding that, is that a chip away at the First Amendment? That's my question. Can it be used later to chip away at the First Amendment issues? So, yeah. Look, at the end of the day, guys, I think the Daily Beast is a bunch of you-know-whats. I think doxing this private citizen for putting out the meme, I think is just... It's literally just showing how pathetic you really are. And at the end of the day, another 2020 election video from Trump. Don't vote for the left. They dox kids. You know? And this is not the first time they've done it. CNN doxed people in the past because of pro-Trump statements. Or because of memes. Like the Trump wrestling meme. They doxed that guy. They even doxed some 60, 70-year-old woman because of her pro-Trump stance. They literally filmed her right outside her front of her house, where you can see the house number. Anybody with half a brain cell, get 4chan on that. They could find that grandma out in half a day. So this is not the first time the left has gone through and doxed. And yeah, there is the right that go through and dox people. Yes. There's the alt-right that does it. I don't know many conservatives that will support it. There are some, but there's not a lot. It's mostly a thing that's done by the far left and the far right. And I think they're both pieces of shit for doxing people, to be honest. Not everybody has the rights and privilege of living in a country that is pro-freedom of speech. Like, in Australia, half my videos probably get me in a lot of shit. That's why I have a red panda. Everybody goes, oh, why do you have the red panda? Where's the red panda? Why don't you show your face? Because I live in a country where at the end of the day, I can get arrested for some of this shit. Me speaking out against Islam, for example, is getting very, very interesting. And we're getting people like over in New Zealand, just recently, who literally got knocked on the door from the New Zealand Police Department, and I know I'm not in New Zealand, I'm in the country right next to it, by the way, who went through and was posting things on social media because of the shooting over in the UK, over in the New Zealand. If you haven't seen that, go and check High Impact Vlogs. He has a video on it about a month ago, where the New Zealand police romped up to a guy's home and wanted to ask him questions about stuff he was posting on social media. So, yeah. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright. So, guys, in case some of you have not heard, Lauren Southern is retiring from the internet. I am both sad and happy about this, but we'll get into that in a sec. Agreed, CNN doxed the teenager that made the Trump versus CNN wrestling gift. Yep, they did. They indeed need to be laws that protect people from... Yeah, I worry about the whole First Amendment rights. I just worry that that is going to be used later as a slippery slope fallacy. I don't know. You can't trust the left with these sort of laws and stuff like that. It's just, yeah. But anyway, let's talk about Lauren Southern. I should probably record this one, shouldn't I? Alright, guys, so, right, we're going to talk about Lauren Southern, who's actually leaving YouTube. I'm both happy and sad about this. I'm sad because I won't get to see her pretty face on the internet. I'm happy because she wants to go and start and have family and get off the internet. And Lauren, call me. Just saying. Still holding that torch, okay? But all jokes aside, look, obviously, I have met Lauren Southern when she was in Australia. She is a lovely person. But let's jump into it. So let's play the clip here. I've skipped to 23 minutes, 55 seconds of the video. This is with her and Stefan. She actually talks about her leaving YouTube. So let's jump into it.
Next.
What am I doing next? I am taking a step back. I'm taking a step back from politics, and this is obviously, I think we agreed this interview will be released after I publish my little letter announcing that I'm leaving, so people have probably already heard. But this interview will be one of the last on video interviews people see about me or with me.
Right.
I guess I should go into that more.
Yeah, why not? I could ask you the prompting questions, or you could just wing it.
Okay, so after a long consideration about my time in politics and my time making videos, it's been about 4 or 5 years. I mean, I started doing this when I was 19, and my whole life has been, my entire adult life has been consumed by politics. That's a little crazy. I've already taken a step back from YouTube with my documentary making. So for the most part, even though I was on the ground doing interviews, I wasn't on social media that much and in the constant rat race of things. And in doing so and taking a step back from social media, I certainly feel I gained a little better of a real world perspective, a little more clarity in my thinking when you're not constantly getting the opinions of thousands of people at you every single day, every single second. And I feel that while I've had so much experience on the ground and so much time all over the world, I've traveled to so many countries these last 4 years, we often see in this society two things. We see people who get thrown into the fray of real world contentions and they give their perspective from on the ground, and people that give their perspective from ivory towers. They're very well educated. They've read all of the books and they've looked at all the studies they can, but they don't necessarily know what it's like to be on the ground and how they would act in a situation themselves. They observe it from their ivory towers and give an analytical position on it. And then the people who are thrown into real world fray contentions, they have a very honest take on things, but they can't necessarily fully analyze or articulate what they've been through afterwards or even during, because they don't have the academic side to it. So I think I'd like to go back and add a little bit of an academic lens to all the things that I've seen in the world. And that's one part of it. I want to go back and do some studies and focus on my education, adding the academic lens. And then the other side is, I don't believe that we can have it all. I think that there is a common misconception in the world, that we can just have it all. You can be the internet meme, constantly traveling the world, making documentaries, making videos, doing interviews on Twitter all day, and also have a contemplative life and a family life. And that's been really hard for me to balance these last few years. You know, it's something that I've really struggled with, because not only do I feel a duty to be political and take part in some of the most important discussions in my life and in the world, but I enjoy it. I do enjoy this, but this is, I feel like I'm at a cross point in my life where I can choose to keep going on the vita activa, constantly going on the road forever, and then ignore a large part of what it is to be human, which is to have human connections, relationship, a family. And that's something that I really want and I'd like to pursue. So while I feel that me and everyone that has supported me, oh my goodness, you've been one of the only reasons I've been able to do anything, all my patrons and even those that just share my videos, we've accomplished a lot. We've made some of the biggest groundbreaking films in modern political conversation, and just had created robust conversations around some of the most important topics of this day and age. And for that, I will forever be grateful for and proud of. But I think it's time, for the sake of my personal life and for the sake of growing as a person and in my political engagements, for me to focus on my family and my education.
So I will put a link to the full video, guys, below. It's an interview regarding, I'll also put it in chat too, if you guys want to watch it after the show. But like I say, yeah, if you guys want to go through and watch it after the show, obviously you can. But like I say, it's an interview regarding borderless and retirement. Like I say, look, at the end of the day, look, she's been doing this for 5 years, okay? It's 3 years longer than me, or 2 years longer than me. I get it. Some days I'm just like, oh, I've got to go do the news. It's going to be depressing. I get that. And obviously, look, I do a lot more than what she does. Not tooting my own horn or anything, but, you know, a 2-hour, 1-hour show every day for 5 days a week for 52 weeks a year. But at the end of the day, I get that frustration that she gets. She wants to go and start family, have friends, have a relationship. Lauren, call me. Seriously, call me. But, you know, like I said, look, at the end of the day, yeah, I get that. And she's 24. You know, she wants kids. And that sand is ticking through the hourglass. You know, so I get it. I get the fact that her little biological clock is ticking. Lauren, call me. We'll have Aryan babies. But like I say, look, at the end of the day, I get that. I don't think she's going to leave forever. I think she will be back. Don't worry. I think after a few months or whatever it may be, she will be back. Maybe a year, whatever, she will be back. And at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe YouTube back then, when she comes back, will be different. At the moment, it is literally a place where you can get doxxed and whatnot just for simply having the wrong opinion. We have literally just covered a story where the Daily Beast went through and doxxed someone for... They've got a blocker thing on running. But they've literally gone through and doxxed someone just for having the wrong opinions. So, or for sharing a meme. So at the end of the day, I get why she's taking a step back. I really, really do. And unlike me, her face is out there. It is not hard to find Lauren's real name. It's really easy, actually. And the alt-right seemingly wants to hate her as much as the alt-left does. So, I get it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, don't worry. Well, I'm not going to stop, Raymond. Don't worry, buddy. But yeah, like I say, look, I'm older than Lauren Southern. But hey, Lauren, if you like older guys. But like I say, yeah, I'm older. But even I've realised that doing this show 2 hours every day, like for 5 days a week, it puts a toll on your but don't get me wrong, I love it. I love this shit. I love triggering the left. I love going through and giving people actual, real, factual news. And actually trying to keep political opinions out of it. Just telling you guys the facts. We're trying to tell you the facts, whether it goes with or against our agenda, okay? I'm older than Lauren, so, I'm in this for the long haul, Like, Stefan actually mentions this, too. Stefan says that he got into politics when he was in his 30s, so it's different for him. She got into it when she was 19. She's always going to be the girl with the hedgehog, because apparently she has a hedgehog. I'm talking about the pet, okay? Get your minds out of the gutter. She's my waifu. But like I say, yeah, look, at the end of the day, I support her decision to do this. And I don't think she'll be gone. I think she'll be back. So I'm really not worried about it, per se. We'll just have to wait to see. But at the end of the day, yeah, good luck, Lauren. Good luck with any guy that has you. Presumably there is a long list knocking down your door. If not, call me. Just saying. But yeah, now look, at the end of the day, obviously, good luck to Lauren, and I hope she does a great job. And I hope she moves on. She's going to do studies and stuff like that. We do actually have her statement here. Or did I close that window? I found it, and then I closed the statement. I closed the window. That is complete boomer moment. But like I say, look, at the end of the day, yeah, I support a decision. Look, it's a loss. Yes, it's a loss. But there's other people out there like us that are going to be able to pick up the slack anyway. For those who follow and enjoy my work, thank you very much for partaking in this adventure with me over the last 4 years. You probably already noticed I pulled back an extent from social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. I've been slowly moving towards a life less lived on the virtual world and more present outside of it. Yeah, I can't blame it either, Eric. I wanted to pursue this less public life, but I've also felt a sense of duty to stay and make a difference. That's not that I deeply enjoy the creative content of my work. It's that I prefer to find fulfillment in more private capacity and finally decide to make that full commitment. So I rest assured, it's not that I regret my past experiences, the most informative phenomenal over the years. She basically says, I've made profound friendships with some of the most talented and brave people in the politics and philosophy. You know who you are, your duties and the distances in the world has come to so many years content. Many stories I feel I never got the chance to tell, but I treasure them in my memory and glad to be bringing some of them in the world. But enough of the media. I've received far more attention than any deserves with the false portrayal of myself and many others I know. So yeah, it just seems like it's just she wants to go off and become private. Whatever the Canadian legal authorities might still mistakenly think I'm not a man. So she's literally signing off with trolling. Good on you, Lauren. Yeah. So like I say, she's just basically going to go off and private. Yeah. Private life and step back from politics. Like I say, I think she'll be back. I think in a few years or whatever, she'll be back. So, like I say, between now and then, guys, we will fight the good fight. We will keep it up. And, Lauren, when you come back, the world will still be there for you. Alright. So. Alright. Oh boy. From one story to another. This is bad. Okay. Snapchat. Some of you guys may know that Snapchat has filters. Oh boy, isn't this a good one? So Snapchat has a filter for love. Love has... actually, look, I'm just going to play it, and you guys can...
Okay, so Snapchat has this filter. Love has no gender, sexuality, disability, religion, and age. Why is age an option? I heard pedophiles were trying to get into the LGBTQ community. But did it happen? What do you mean love has no age?
That's a really, really good point. So according to Snapchat, love has no age. What does this become when does this become too much? The law would disagree with Snapchat. You guys are incredible. Because enough to bring awareness, blah, 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 blah. So at the end of the day, the devil is busy. This snap is in the face of those who... Right, but, so like I say, yeah, this is just a very quick story. Just talking about this, I've seen the LBGT community try and get into... the pedo community try and get into LBGT community. This is something that I really do wonder. You know, Snapchat, what the hell are you doing? Why does Snapchat have love has no age? Because to me, that's sick. That is absolutely twisted and disgusting. And I just wanted to highlight this because this literally makes my skin crawl. No, love has age, okay? Okay? If she's underage, you do not touch. If she is underage, you do not look at a girl wrong, okay? Because that's sick. That is twisted. That is frigging demented. Alright? I don't care if she's legal age or older. That's fine, right? If you're 50 and you want to hook up with an 18-year-old, as long as she's of legal age, that is fine. But underage, do not touch. Because I swear, in-game, and I have to say in-game, people will want to cut off your you-know-what. And I do not blame them for doing that. I do not blame anyone who has a pre-adolescent daughter who gets touched by some pedo who then wants to go and give him a free circumcision. I really don't blame him at all. Because it's sick and twisted and disgusting. And I can't believe that frigging Snapchat has a thing where love has no age. No, yes, love has age. The legal requirements says love has age. Okay? Frigging pedos. It's, oh my god, it's sick. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. We'll probably hear a lot more about this story. Love your show, Red Panda, as always. Most of the time, I don't have a good enough internet signal to watch your live shows, but I do post your videos later. Oh, thank you, Leah. Thank you. We also are breaking up the stories in a smaller sections for you guys, so you can always watch them later on demand. So yeah, obviously if you want to watch the shows, there's any particular things that does help you, obviously feel free to watch those smaller ones. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Age is just a number. People seem to forget that a little asterisk next to it that says, as long as it's legal. Yes, exactly. Snapchat needs to have an age limit and legal age to date, 18 and over. Yeah, so in Australia, its legal age is, I think it's actually 16 for dating in some states. 18 if it's anal. There's all funny, weird restrictions and stuff like that. Generally, yeah, I think 18 or older is okay. As long as, like you say, she is over the legal age of consent. I don't care if you're 50 or whatever and you want to hook up with a 21-year-old. Like, geez, I'm probably going to try and do it when I'm 50. Go for it. But at the end of the day, as long as she's legal age, I don't care. But anyway, let's get off this topic before it makes me rage quit. Former Democrat congressional candidate Sarah Arara says that she hates white people in America. Fuck it, let's record this. Former Democrat congressional candidate Sarah Arara, I might be mispronouncing, says she hates white people and America. A former Democrat congressional candidate attacked white people and American flag in a series of angry tweets on Sunday. Sarah Arara, who ran for Congress in Colorado's 1st District last year, blamed white people for making her life miserable and says that she can't stand the sight of the American flag. I wonder why she possibly lost the election. Arara was supported by far-left Political Action Committee PAC Justice Democrats during her campaign last year, but was easily defeated in the Democrat primary by long-term incumbent Diane Gillette, a white woman. I wonder why she hates white people. After the primary defeat, Rahaya said that she was ready to give up on white people, blaming them for her loss. Before her loss, Ra also wrote an open letter in the Democratic Party in Huffington Post, ripping them for not doing enough to combat racism. So in other words, it's everybody else's fault but hers, right? You have taken my love, my money, my tokenism with nothing anything in return, she said. You continue to call angry white men who commit mass murder lone wolves, but if someone who likes me screams Allah and fires a gun, it's terrorism. Really? The New Zealand shooter wasn't listed as a terrorist by every mainstream publication out there? The synagogue shooter over in I think it was in New York, was he not called a terrorist by every media publication out there? It's actually funny because we're seeing it the other way around. We're actually seeing more mental illness when it comes to people screaming Allah Akbar, but when it comes to the whites who go through and who do mass shootings, who are clearly insane, by the way, listed as terrorists. But anyway, I think both of them are terrorists. How's that? How's that for your identity politics? They're both scumbags. But anyway. Roe recently found a club called Race to Dinner, where she invites white women throughout the country to join private dinners in order to bear witness to the pains of black and brown women. It's me victim narrative, isn't it? It really, really is. So at the end of the day, yeah. Me victim narrative. Me need me victim currency. I didn't win because I didn't have enough victim points. Give me some more victimies. I want more victimies. Victimy currency. And that's what it is. It's victim blaming. It's blaming everybody else for her losing the election. Maybe people didn't like you because you're hate-filled. Maybe people didn't like you because at the end of the day, you're blaming half the population, or actually most, overwhelming majority of the population, or at least the majority of the population, as saying that you hate them. Maybe a whole bunch of white people who would have voted for you sat there and thought, you know what? She doesn't like white people. She's a racist. We don't want a racist running in office. Maybe that was their opinion. And maybe that's why you didn't win the election. Maybe some of that toxic racism that you're holding into your little dear heart there, Sarah Rowe, maybe you need to just live a little and love. Be free. That'll just, stop being a, big cunt sort of thing. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Seth Mullins says that Stacey Abrams would have won if America wasn't a racist country. We should probably join these two stories together, actually, so I might do that. Seth Mullins says Stacey Abrams would have won the America wasn't a racist country. Democrat Massachusetts Republican Seth Moran claimed during a CNN town hall event Sunday night that Stacey Abrams would be governor of Georgia if America wasn't a racist country. The 2020 president candidate told the audience in Atlanta, Georgia, that the U.S. has a problem with racism, which prevented Abrams from winning a hotly contested gubernatorial contest in the Peach State last year. So we have a problem with racism in America today, Mullins says. If this country wasn't racist, Stacey Abrams would be a governor. She was beaten because of the fact that she is a governor, because she's black. We need to go through and we need to suppress white people because the black people can't do it on their own. They are a bunch of victims. And that in itself should show you how racist people are. If you're sitting there thinking that a minority of people cannot do something on their own because at the end of the day, they're oppressed because they can't do it on themselves. Really? That's not racist to you? Candace Owens seems to be doing a good job right now. Candace Owens seems to be popular right now. Guess what? There is a big difference between there's a big difference between sorry, my printer just started cleaning. Between Candace Owens and a big difference between this woman. One's a victim, one's a victor. But anyway. Abrams has repeatedly claimed without evidence that she lost the race due to voter suppression and still refuses to concede the election despite her loss and refusal to concede. Abrams is considered a rising star in the Democrat Party, which really says something about the Democratic Party. The former Georgia state lawmaker gave the Democrats' response to President Trump's State of the Union speech early this year. Abrams has expressed interest in running for office again, including a president candidate in 2020. She's also been rumored as a potential running mate for whoever wins the nomination, something she said she was open to last month. Look, at the end of the day, to me, this is just someone who's going through and is just being a victim. That's all it is. You can't handle this because you're a victim. I lost. Oh, boo-hoo. Get the hell over it. You lost. Concede. Look upon yourself. Realize why people didn't vote for you. And maybe do some self-improvement. That would be my suggestion. But I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. CNN should consider, Eric Sewell, CNN should consider leaving Georgia over abortion laws. Yep, sorry, I wondered why the printer was going off. During a CNN town hall on Sunday, long-shot 2020 White House hopeful Representative Eric Swalwell said the network may have to move its headquarters out of Atlanta, Georgia, because of the state's recently passed anti-abortion legislation. Audience member, women's reproductive rights are under attack in this country. Yep, but they don't mention Georgia. This is my home state of Georgia, and other states around the country are trying to undermine Roe v. Wade. How will you ensure that women's right to autonomy over her own body and access to care is not determined by the state in which she lives? Are you saying you can't go to the doctor if you're a woman? Right? If you're just not pregnant. Say you're just a normal, average, non-pregnant girl. And you go to the doctor, right? Are you saying that the doctors won't treat you? That you don't get autonomy over your own body? Or is it only when there's another life involved? Interesting point, isn't it? Eric says, well, first, my wife and I really deeply believe that it's her body, her choice. Oh my God, he literally said that. And that should be for every woman in America. That's what I'll do as president. As president, I would only appoint justices who uphold the law. Yet it's funny when Trump does it, you know, it's bad. Including the precedent that is Roe v. Wade. I don't want us to aim so low that we just protect what so many women generations ago marched and worked very hard to make sure there was. I want us to repeal the Hyman Amendment that says that only a woman with private health care insurance can make that decision. But I also want to tell every young man in America today, you have a duty and a responsibility right now to link arms with young women in America and make sure that we're all in this to make a part of that right. In that response to young men have a right now, so find young women to march with them. Jim Scalita. On topic, as folks here in Atlanta will very well know, it's now become an economic issue. You have companies, particularly film and television. A lot of films and television shows are in the Atlanta area. Netflix, Disney, Universal, Warner Media, which owns CNN, they've all warned they may have to halt business here if the law goes into effect. I wonder, do you support that kind of economic boycott? Representative, yeah, if the law goes into effect, I absolutely do, and CNN may have to move. Look, at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to win election. I've already said this on Twitter, they're going to make Joe Biden win. Joe Biden will win the Democrat 2020 presidential candidate. Okay? They're using fake polls now to bolster his numbers, to make it seem like he's in the lead and everything like that. It's the deep state. The deep state wants Joe Biden to win. Because at the end of the day, he's a war hawk. He will go through and he will support them, and he will support the military-industrial complex. He will play ball with the deep state. So Joe Biden will be the Democrat president 2020 candidate. I'm telling you now, it's Joe Biden versus Trump, and Trump will win it. Because Trump just has to go on about draining the swamp and point out how creepy Joe is not only creepy, but also is also a friggin' swamp creature. Move CNN to North Korea. North Korea, they have a lot more free fresh air. True. But at the end of the day, like I say, yeah, look, this is he's not going to win. It's Joe Biden. We know it. Yeah. But, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. ABC host, I know Jesus would be attending a pride. Oh my God, really? Alright. Let's go through and record this one too. ABC's host, I know Jesus would be attending a pride parade. Monday on ABC The View, the co-host and network's legal analyst Sunny Hostin commented on the Roman Catholic Bishop of Providence, R.I. Thomas Toblin, tweeting that the Catholics should boycott pride events. So he said, a reminder that Catholics should not support or attend LGBTQ past Pride Month events held in June. They promote the culture and encourage activities that are contrary to Catholic faith and morals. They are especially harmful for children. Huston said, I'm so glad you brought up that, because I was on Twitter this week and I read this tweet by the Bishop Tubman, who is a Catholic bishop. He comes out and he says that he wants to remind all Catholics not to support, engage in any pride, participate in prides, or anything supporting the LGBTQ community because it's against Christian values and it's harmful to children. And I tweeted out that my Catholic children will be attending pride events as this Catholic will. You also know that my faith always taught me that would Jesus do. And I know Jesus would be attending a pride parade with pride. She continues, and I also know that God is love, Jesus is love, love is love. For Catholic bishop to come out and say something like that, given the history of pedophilia in the Catholic Church, given what the Catholic Church has hidden about the abuse of children, some would say that a pride parade is much safer for a child than being in a Catholic Church for many years. I don't know. I've seen some pride parades, that's for sure. Look, at the end of the day, Catholic Church, yeah, sure, there's been a history of pedophilia in them, yes. But at the end of the day, there's also, like, you look at Desmond is Amazing, or any of these sort of things. You know, you literally get Desmond is Amazing dancing on a stage where grown men are throwing money off him, where he's doing a wardrobe change. So at the end of the day, you know, what is that? Not all strippers have to get butt naked. In fact, some of them don't. So yeah, I would say, you know, this is... Look, it's The View. Who's really surprised? Who's really surprised by The View saying this? Or them having a host on here saying this? I'm not. I'm really not. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Well, I tell you what, it's all pedos today, isn't it? Key Mueller probe witness arrested on child porn charges. A key witness in the special counsel investigation was arrested Monday on charges that he transported child pornography. George Nadler, a longtime advisor to the Crown Prince of the United States of Emirates, was charged on the 9th of April 2018 after FBI investigators found 12 videos on one of Nadler's phones showing children between the ages of 3 and 14 engaging what the government called sexually explicit content. Nadler was initially detained at Washington, D.C.'s Dulles Airport on January 17, 2018. The charges were not unsealed until Monday, when Nadler was arrested at JFK International Airport. Nadler, who was a citizen of both Lebanon and the US, was involved in several key meetings at the center of the special counsel's probe. He helped set up a meeting in the Scutlets in January 2017 between Eric Prince and a Trump supporter who funded a private security firm, Blackwater, and drilled Dremey and head of the Russia Direct Investment Fund. So he has ties to Russia, and he's got charged with pedo material on his phones. I think those phones were used to sell the children. I think this is a lot bigger than what the Daily Caller is letting on or even knows about. I think that those children on that phone were videos that he would show to prospective clients. That's what I think this is. I think this is what he would do, and I'm going off by what I've seen in movies here and stuff like that, and not those sort of movies before anybody takes it out of context. But, you know, like sort of like movies where they bust like pedos and stuff. I think that they would, he would go through, he would show the videos to people on the phones, send the videos to people on the phones, maybe on the clients, and, you know, people would bid on it, sort of like a hostel sort of situation. Nadler is mentioned nearly 120 times in the special counsel's report. He's also met numerous times at the special counsel office. All but one of those meetings were conducted under a proffer agreement, meaning that he would not be charged with any crimes in exchange for his cooperation. According to the report, Dmitry asked Nadia to introduce him to Trump transition officials. Like, come on, this guy has a very good reason to throw Trump under a bus and to lie. Nadler also reportedly wired $2.5 million to Elliot Bradley, the embattled Republican Party fundraiser, as a part of a campaign to oppose Qatar, a geopolitical foe of the UAE. Nadler, 60, pled guilty to similar child porn charges in 1991 in Virginia. He faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison if convicted, prosecutors say. Good. Throw him in jail. Throw away the key. I don't want to see this creep in society. Like, imagine using someone that you've known has such poor character as one of your key witnesses. Like, Jesus Christ, Mueller, what the hell were you doing? Well, we know what you're doing. You're trying to be a deep state shill. But look, at the end of the day, like, you know, imagine building your case on someone that's been charged with child pornography. Or, sorry, sexual activities of children. 120 times he was mentioned in the report. Like, Jesus Christ, Mueller. But anyway. Alright. Last story for the day, guys, and we're wrapping up. So, almost 2 hours again. Woof. Tell you what, it's not a bad 1 hour show, is it? Alright, so NBA might ban the term owner due to racial overturns. The NBA is about to cuck. The NBA is about to go woke and go broke. The NBA might nix the term owner from its vocabulary, so to avoid the suggestion of racial insensitive, according to the new report. The report from TMZ Sports states that 2 franchises have already made the switch, referring to their majority shareholders by others' names. Los Angeles Clippers owner Steve Ballmer is referred to the team as the CEO, and the Philadelphia 76ers are now referred to their main shareholders as limited partners. The TMZ report pointed to the episode of LeBron James' HBO show The Shop, in which the Golden State Warrior star Draymond Green appeared to take offense to the term owner, saying it fosters slave-to-master relationships. So the NBA statement sent a statement to TMZ saying that the league already refers to its owners as governors. We refer to owners of our teams as governors. Each team is represented on our board as governors, the league told TMZ. The NBA has always been at the forefront of corporate political correctness, and this has no difference. We'll ban the term owner by the straw that breaks the camel's back and ends racism functional. So, will banning the term owner be the straw that breaks the camel's back and ends racism for all? It's possible, I guess, but I have my doubts. I don't think it will. I think at the end of the day, if you go through and you keep referring to people as owners, or even if you ban the term owner, I don't think it's going to change. I don't think people are going to sit there and go, oh my god, the NBA is no longer using the term owner, so therefore we should stop being racist. I think people are going to be racist no matter what. Sad reality, but true. Look, at the end of the day, NBA goes broke, goes broke. That's all I'm going to say. Like, the last major sporting corporation that tried to do this was the American Football League. How did that go again? How's the American football ratings? How are the ratings for the Super Bowl? Have they recovered yet? You know, are they still having grandstands empty, or like even the Super Bowl? Have they managed to get their ratings back? I haven't looked into it, so I'd have to look. But it really does make you wonder, doesn't it? I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Apart from that, guys, look, this is where we're going to leave it today. This is the final episode, or final video, or final news for the day. Thank you, everybody who has obviously been in here for the whole time. Thank you, everybody who has came halfway through, a little bit wave, whatever it may be. I've lost the flatus to speak properly. It's time to wrap up. But yeah, guys, look, big shout out to everybody that shares my videos. Big shout out to everybody that likes them, subscribes. Appreciate you guys. I really, really do. We are heavily censored on the internet. So at the end of the day, the only way we're able to keep growing is by you guys sharing these videos on social media, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be. Which is why we're also going back to putting up the little videos. Because those names, those descriptions, they can also help bypass some of that censorship. Like, for example, like if we talk about the alligator, for example, the reason why we talked about the crocodile eating or being in the house was because of the censorship. So, yeah, good night. I am going to go. I have to go and finish renovating my kitchen. So, I will see you guys same bat time tomorrow, same bat station. And apart from that, guys, good night, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you then.